everyone, I hope you are well and staying safe. Today I'm going to read you a story and it's called Sir Scaly Pants, the Dragon Knight. Sir Kindly Heart was riding home from being bold and brave when his horse tripped on a dragon's egg abandoned in a glade. When the egg began to crack, the knight thought, "This looks bad." But a little dragon's head popped out, puffed smoke and gargled, "Dad?" Now since Sir Kindly had no child, he took the dragon home and asked his lady wife if they could raise him as their own. His scales were hard, his claws were sharp, but Lady Kindly knew that she would love him as her own, however big he grew. They taught young Scaly lessons, and the very first he learnt was that breathing fire was not allowed in case someone got burnt. They packed the little fellow off to night school in a wagon, with fingers crossed that no one would be beastly to their dragon. 3 nasty student knights, who liked being mean and cruel, did everything they could to make it hard for him at school. They picked the nickname Scaly Pants and tried to bully him, but words like arrows bounced right off his thick green dragon skin. He studied hard for many years, learnt how to ride and fight, till he graduated as the one and only Dragon Knight. He made one very special friend, and he held that friendship dear, the plucky little horse he rode, the filly Guinevere. One day a ghastly giant chanced up upon their peaceful land. He stomped through town, knocked buildings down, grabbed cows in either hand. He stuffed his pockets full of geese, drained barrels dry of beer, ate anyone who crossed his path, and burped, "I like it here." The people cried, "Oh, help us, please," and ran to beg the king. "Your Majesty, please send some help to save us from this thing." The king said, "All you knights must go, consider it a test. The knight who beats the giant, I'll proclaim to be the best." The nasty knights raced on ahead, each on a mighty steed, with Scaly trailing far behind at a somewhat slower speed. When he arrived, the nasty knights were tied tight to a tree. They stopped their blubbering and cried out, "Oh, Scaly, set us free." They begged him, "Don't forsake us, we've always been your friends. Please don't leave your pals to such a ghastly, gruesome end." The giant stomped towards him, its breath was rank and rotten, its red beard filled with bits of food from dinners long forgotten. It bent down, belched, and picked a pound of bogey from its nose. He flicked it at Scaly, scoffing, "You're the hero, I suppose." He grabbed poor Scaly's bony leg with a giant hairy limb. He took a sniff and licked his lips and promptly swallowed him. But Gwynnie ran to save him, and between the giant's feet she found the sword that Scaly dropped and grabbed it with her teeth. She jabbed the giant in his toe. He jumped and gave a shout. His slimy mouth gaped open wide, and Scaly plopped right out. As Scaly fell, he grabbed a rope, and what a stroke of luck! It was the one that held the giant's stinky trousers up. Like a circus tent collapsing, his trousers hit the floor, and with a blush he pulled them up and shouted, "This means war." He chased them to the edge of town. They nearly got away, but when Scaly yelled, "Go faster, Gwyn!" she fell and panted, "Nay!" Scaly drew his sword and stood there ready to defend, but the giant swatted him away and grabbed his little friend. "I wish I'd time," the giant said, "to grind her bones for bread, but the chase has left me peckish, and it's time that I was fed." His mouth was gaping wide and dark. "This is it," thought Gwynnie. She put her head between her hooves and gave a little whinny. But Scaly wasn't beaten. There was one last thing to try. He knew Mummy wouldn't like it, but his best friend couldn't die. He drew the deepest breath he could and carefully took aim, then blasted out a never-ending stream of dragon flame. "Me bum's on fire!" the giant shrieked. His underpants were smoking, and since he hadn't washed for months, the smell had Scaly choking. The giant leapt into a lake, which turned to clouds of steam, then legged it sharpish from the realm, and never more was seen. The news of Scaly's triumph quickly spread throughout the land, till he knelt before the king, who stood with regal sword in hand. He said, "Arise, Sir Scaly Pants, you've proved you have the right to call yourself my champion and the bravest dragon knight." So that is how Sir Scaly and his little horse found glory and started their adventures, but that's another story. Hope you enjoyed it. See you soon.